what is the form we obtained, form of the distribution law we obtained in the previous class? See, here I am writing that thing, dn by n. What is it? Actually, it is a probability. Okay, we have in total small n number of molecules, out of which dn molecules are in the velocity range dc, means c to c plus dc. Okay, right. Or if you want to express that in terms of components, see, the velocity components of the particle or the molecules are in the range u to u plus du, v to v plus dv, okay, and w to w plus dw. How many particles are having their velocity in this range? Dn particles or dn molecules. Out of n molecules, dn molecules only having their velocity components in between u and u plus du, v and v plus dv, okay, and w and w plus dw. Okay, even though it looks very lengthy, but it is very easy. You need not to bother about this. See, you got this dn by n is equal to m by 2 pi kt whole to the power of 3 by 2 into e power minus m by 2 kt into u square plus v square plus w square into du dv dw. Okay, now in the previous class we tried to express this in terms of single velocity c. Why? Because uvw are the component velocities. Okay, right, you know that c square here, u square plus v square plus w square is nothing but c square. Why? Because c is equal to actually ui plus vj plus wk. C square means c dot c. Whenever you do the dot product, then what happens? U dot u plus v dot v plus w dot w. That means u square plus v square plus w square. So what is this u square plus v square plus w square here? C square. If you are able to write this u square plus v square plus w square as c square, then your equation becomes very succinct. That means very small. It will be in a very compact form, right? That's why what we are trying to do is up to this point you completed your derivation of Maxwell speed distribution law. You may write this is called as the Maxwell speed distribution law, but we may put this in more compact or elegant form whenever we express this in terms of c square or c. Okay, right. Here this is okay, but we have to express, you are going to write this u square plus v square w square as c square. But what about this? This is also a function of uvw now. Okay, for that actually this is the velocity volume. Okay, du, it is something like length, breadth, height in case of coordinates. Okay, so here how many number of molecules are there, okay, whose components are in the range du, dv and dw? That we want to find. See, how many molecules you can accommodate in a cylinder, that depends upon the size, means volume of the cylinder. Here this is the velocity volume. Okay, here you are taking some increment in the u, v and w, that is du, dv, dw. That means, see here, you consider x, y, z axis respectively. See here, okay, your u is along this axis, v is along this axis, okay, u is along this axis, x axis, v is along this axis, y axis, w is along this z axis. Now you just take this thing. Your point is say at see your this is O, this is P. Okay. Here, yeah, this is what we designated this as C. Okay. If you increase this by dc, what happens? You are going to get some bigger volume, bigger sphere. Okay. Now, for this du, dv, dw component change, what will be the corresponding change in the C? That is dc, this thing. Okay. Now, all the molecules whose velocities are in between C and C plus dc can be found in between these two lines are the annular area of these two spheres. How to find this area between two spheres, or the volume between these two spheres? Volume of the bigger sphere minus volume of the smaller sphere. These are the velocity spheres. So your R is now C for the inner circle. For the outer circle, what is the total radius? What is the total radius? C plus dc. This is dc. C plus dc. So now we are trying to find this volume. So you may find all the molecules whose velocities are in between C and C plus dc. Okay, in this volume. Okay, so you may replace this du, dv, dw with the corresponding volume in C. Okay, yeah, so we are trying to express du, dv, dw in terms of C. I already told you that here this is given by volume of the bigger sphere minus volume of the small sphere. See, what is the volume formula for the volume of a sphere? 4 by 3rd in the previous class I already told to you. Yeah, this du, dv, dw is given by the annular volume. What is that? 4 by 3rd pi r. What is the r for the bigger sphere? C plus dc. C plus dc. I think we have done this in the 4 by 3rd pi r cube, C plus dc cube, minus volume of the small sphere 4 by 3rd pi c cube. So whenever you take this 4 by 3 pi outside, see inside the brackets what you are getting, this thing minus this thing. After expanding this c plus dc as c cube plus d cube, okay, plus 3 c square dc plus 3 dc square into c. Okay, we are neglecting dc square term. Why? Because dc is a small number. Whenever you square and whenever you cube that small number, again you are going to get the very small number. So we are ignoring altogether the cubes and square terms of dc. So okay, c cube plus 3 c square dc minus c cube. Now this plus c cube minus c cube cancel. Here outside the brackets what you are having, okay, you do this on a plain paper, you work it out. Here I am not having that much space. You recall the a plus b whole cube formula, a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. Okay, you write down. Otherwise, yeah, 4 by 3 pi, what is inside the bracket, what you are getting after simplification? 3 c square dc. Okay, now this 3 cancel, you are getting 4 pi c square dc. What is this? This is du, dv, dw. Okay, now we got du, dv, dw as 4 pi square dc, and we have to substitute u square plus v square plus w square is equal to c square, as I already told. Whenever you do these two substitutions in our previous expression, Then what happens? Here I am writing, you see, what happens to our expression? Yeah, that is your dn by n is there, na? What is that equation? Dn by n. You may take this n to this side as well. Okay, now m by 2 pi kt whole to the power of 3 by 2. There is no change in this term. Next, e power minus m by 2 kt. There is no change in this term. Plus here in the place of u square plus v square plus w square, you are writing c square into, in the place of du, dv, dw, you are writing this thing. Okay, you write down all these things on the paper, otherwise it will be very difficult to follow. Okay, right. Now this is your final equation expressed in terms of c. Here you 4 pi, okay, at first, then inside the brackets you have m by 2 pi kt whole to the power of 3. Next, e power minus mc square, this m into this c square by 2 kt e power mc square by 2 kt. Next, we are already writing this 4 pi initially, okay, here. That's why here you need not to write this one into c square dc. Okay, now you may also write this n here, 4 pi n, 4 pi n. Okay, now you see, this is what the final form of the Maxwell's speed distribution law. Even though we got the expression in the previous class, we are trying to put that equation in more elegant or more simple way. Okay, even if you are able to derive the expression until what we have derived in the previous class, that is also enough for you. If you can write that in terms of c, then you have to work on further and you have to get this equation. Okay, but yeah, this is what our famous Maxwell's speed distribution law. Maxwell's speed distribution law, right? Here what is happening is, it changes with the temperature. It is a function of temperatures. This dn means the number of molecules whose velocities are in some particular range, that is dc. C2, c plus dc are given by this dn. Okay, yeah, this dn, see, this dn is a function of temperature. Okay, now let us try to plot the graph of this function. I am going to plot a graph between c and n. Okay, c and n or dn. See, if you take a number of molecules, okay, on, okay, y-axis and velocity on x-axis, then you are going to get such graphs. Okay, you see here, yeah, the height of the peak is going to decrease. This is for T1 temperature. Okay, shape is same, but as you change the temperature, okay, the height of the curve is going to decrease. That means the curve is going to flatten. Curve is going to flatten as the temperature increases. Here T3 is greater than T2. T2 is greater than T1. The first curve is at the lower temperature. You observe one thing. See, if you draw a line here in the middle, curve on the right is different from curve on the left. That means it is asymmetric. This Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution curves are asymmetric. See, this curve is different, this curve is different. So these curves are asymmetric. What you are observing finally, as the temperature, see, this is a higher temperature. As the temperature increases, T1 is a smaller temperature. Okay. As the temperature increases from T1 to T2 and T2 to T3, the curve is going to be flattened. The curve is, see here, this distance is increasing. This distance is increasing. That means curve is going to flatten, and this n value is also, and this n value is also going to decrease as you increase the temperature. As you increase the temperature, what is happening here? This d value is going to decrease. Dn or n value is going to decrease. That you are observing here. Okay, that you can see here in through this expression. Why? Because actually this is a mathematical function. This is a plot of that mathematical function. Okay, right. You have to plot this graph as well. Whenever you are asked to write the Maxwell speed distribution law, you have to derive this expression, and also you have to draw this graph between n and v, number and velocity. Number and velocity, right? This velocity may be c or some other thing. Okay, right. Now this is about the Maxwell speed distribution law. Okay, here again there are three types of velocities for molecules. I think all of you know that. What are those velocities? uh, Average speed, most probable speed, RMS speed. Okay, we are defining three different types of speeds for the molecules. You may derive the expressions for those three speeds by using this expression, here, this expression. That means Maxwell's speed distribution law, right? Now let us try to, yeah, you may also do this as a homework, but here I am giving you the formula. Okay, right. First of all, let us try to find average speed of the molecules. These are the applications of Maxwell speed distribution law. Average speed. What is the average speed? Whenever you consider a gas container, some molecules may be having very high velocities, some molecules may be having very small velocities, isn't it? Okay. See, whenever you consider the average velocity, what you have to do? You have to add them up. You have to add all the velocities, and you have to divide it with the number of velocities or the number of molecules. Then you are going to get the average speed. For that, I am giving you the formula in terms of integrals 0 to infinity. Why? Because your molecules are having all the speeds. Okay. Here you know the formula for dn by n through this distribution law. Dn by n. See why I am writing this n? This is the average speed. So in the denominator you are having number of molecules. Okay, dn by n. C dc. I am adding up the velocities. C's. Okay, and dividing them up with this n. Okay, now you write this dn by n from this Maxwell's distribution and find the formula by using some standard integrals. There will be 8 kT by pi m. What is the formula for average velocity? 8 kT by pi m. You use this formula and this formula, then you are going to get the answer as 8 kT by pi m. These are something like problems. Okay. What I am trying to do is this. What I am trying to tell you is this Maxwell speed distribution law is able to give you all the properties of a gas. That means average speed, RMS speed, okay, most probable speed. Okay, right. But up to this derivation, it is important. These are all the applications. You may take so many applications. That's why I am discussing very briefly. This is about average speed. Next, I am talking about, you know the definition of average speed as well. That means sum of the speeds by number of speeds. Right. Next, second, application, you may find another velocity, most probable speed. Most probable speed. It is called as Cp. This is called, average speed is called as C bar, while this is called as C foot P, probable. Foot P. Yeah. How to do this? How to get this? Here, one condition is there. Most probable speed means, what is this? This is the speed possessed by maximum number of molecules in the gas. It is something here, most means maximum. So how to define maximum mathematically? Maximum in numbers. See, this is the number n by dn by n, given by the Maxwell speed distribution law. dn is given by the Maxwell speed distribution law. This is the function of c, you know. So what is the maximum of this? How to find the maximum of this dn? Whenever you differentiate this with respect to c. Why? Because dn is a function of c. This should be 0. See, according to the definition of most probable speed, dn by dc should be 0. Just you put n, the formula just now we derived, then you are going to get Cp value. Then you are going to get a Cp value. At this point, your C becomes a Cp. Okay, right. In that way, you are going to get the expression in Cp. So that will give you the expression for Cp. See, I am writing the answer here. Then you try to find it. Cp is equal to under root of, you write down this formula, 2 kT by m. Okay, in chemistry, Cp is equal to 2 kT by m. 2 kT by m. See, in all these expressions, root kT by m is common. See, C bar is equal to 8 kT by pi m. KT by m is common. Okay, you have to observe that, right? Yeah, I am writing the results here. What is Cp? Cp is 2 kT by m. Okay, I am erasing this thing. Just I am writing down the results. Yeah, next, what is the third velocity? Yeah, this is most probable speed. Next, RMS speed, root mean square speed or velocity. Okay, what is root mean square speed? This is the square, this is mean square. Okay. What is root mean square? This is mean square root of this thing. Okay. RMS speed means, how to find the RMS speed? C RMS will be, this is equal to C RMS. This C square bar means square. Okay. Here, how to write the formula here? Integral 0 to infinity. Here you have to take the average of C square, not C. Okay. Again, you have to take your dn by n. So you are adding all C squares and you are dividing with the number of C squares, number of velocities. Okay. This formula square C square bar. C square bar. Okay. This is according to our definition of finding the average of some values. Okay, as we have done in the first case. Okay, now you are going to get this C square bar value whenever you use this dn by n from the Maxwell's distribution formula. After getting this, what you have to do, how much you are going to get after substituting from the Maxwell's speed distribution law? C RMS is equal to, just here I am listing out the result, root 3 kT by m. Now you compare this formula and this formula. Okay, you find the ratio between all these things. C bar east. Okay, next Cp east CRMS, then how much you are going to get? CRMS is equal to, that means this formula is to this formula is to this formula. What is common here? Kt by m is common. So you are going to get, here I am writing remaining things after cancelling root kt by m. Okay, you are going to get this ratio is equal to, yeah, here in first formula kt by m cancel, root 8 by pi east. What about this Cp? Here you are having the formula for Cp. Root kt by m is cancelled, so you are getting root 2. In this formula also kt by m is cancelled in CRMS formula, so you are going to get root 3. Okay, this is what the ratio of average speed is to most probable speed is to root mean square speed. Root mean square speed. Okay. Actually here you are going to get, you know that root 2 value, what is that? 1.414 is 1.732, you know this, no? 73 this, 732. What about this? Whenever you do this, you are going to get 1.59. So this is 1.59, this is C bar, most probable is 1.41, and CRMS is 1.73. So which velocity is higher? CRMS is higher, it is 1.73 compared to the remaining velocities. Okay. See, what is the least velocity? This is most probable velocity. That means more number of molecules will have this small velocity 1.41 into something. Okay, 1.41. Cp is 1.41. Okay, in next we are comparing the magnitudes of these velocities. See here for C bar you are having 1.59. This is average velocity, means average to Cp and Cm. It is in between 1.41 and 1.73. Okay, this is what the ratio of three types of velocities. I think you are already studied this thing in your previous classes or in the chemistry class. Right. This is about the Maxwell's speed distribution law and finding three types of velocities by using the Maxwell speed distribution law. Right? Yeah. Next, with this, most of this lesson is over, but we have to consider some transport phenomena before completing this lesson. Yeah, we're almost running out of time. Just let me introduce these different transport phenomena. Yeah, here we are dealing with the non-equilibrium system. That means whenever the system is not in equilibrium, then these things happen. Actually, this transport. What is our next topic? Transport phenomena. Okay, transport phenomena. Here, three different transport phenomena are there in gases. What are they? Okay, transport. Here you have to remember this. See, this transportation inside the gas container happens in order to reach the equilibrium. See, first type, uh, transport of momentum. Okay, next, transport of energy. Okay, transport of energy. Next, inside the gas, how many transportations are possible if the gas is not in the equilibrium? Transport of, what is this? Next, transport of this is mass, transport of mass. See, all these transportations occur from one part of the cylinder to another part of the cylinder. See, this transportation leads to what is called as the property of gas, viscosity. Viscosity. Transport of momentum will leads to viscosity of the gas. Transport of energy, okay, will leads to the conduction. Okay, conduction of heat inside the gas. Next, transport of mass leads to diffusion. Diffusion. See, whenever you are having the gas inside the closed container, then the gas will be in equilibrium. Whenever you make a small hole to the cylinder, then what happens? Gas will be disturbed from the equilibrium condition. Why? Because low pressure area is outside of the cylinder, so gas escapes from the cylinder to high density region to low density region. This is what we call as a transportation of mass, transportation of molecules from cylinder to environment. This phenomena is called gas. Okay, so there are three transport phenomena occurring inside of a thermodynamical system which is not in equilibrium. These three types of transportation will lead to three properties of the gas. What are they? Viscosity, conductivity, and diffusion.